Hey, what's up, you guys? Street Trader Fix here back with another video. So, on this one, as you can see, this is lesson 6, which is risk management. And as you can see, this is not our usual way of presenting the lessons, but Canva is also a good way of presenting the lessons in my regard because this is where I make all my PDFs. So, as you can see, with all the lessons, we start with the theory, right? You have to understand what you would then apply in real charts, in live charts. So that's why we go over the theory first and then the application of everything on the charts. So, what we're going to deal with here on lesson 6 is risk management. So, what you need to understand firstly is what is risk, you know, because a lot of the time most people are aware of what risk is, but then they just go over it, they just ignore it and then regret it later. So hopefully this video can also be a form of a psychology video which can assist you in your trading with regards to how you approach trades. So what we're going to start with is what is risk. Well, forex trading risk is simply the potential of risk of loss that may occur when trading. That is why it is important to choose the amount you are comfortable with losing on each trade, and you should make sure that the risk is always applied consistently, right? You have to decide, let's say you have, which is going to be the amount that we're going to use for the example. Let's say you have a $1,000 balance, right? You have to be more aware, or you have to decide how much you're willing to lose on each single trade on your $1,000 account, right? You have to be willing to lose the amount so that you can be comfortable with the loss, you know? Because if you don't know how much you're willing to lose, then you would just make huge mistakes or make big gains and then lose it all in a day. That's possible. So, we're not going to touch on what risk management is, and it's simply just going to be you managing the risk that you are comfortable with losing. So, let's just touch on the theory that I drafted for you guys here. So, this is an action taken by you as a trader to protect yourself from loss of capital on any trade that you may take, right? Loss of capital, I'm talking about the whole amount of capital, right? Let's say you have $1,000 balance, right? You're protecting yourself from losing that $1,000 all on one trade. So that's called risk management. You're managing risk so that when you get another trading opportunity, you can be able to capitalize on it and hopefully make uh, make back all the losses that you had on that account and hopefully have a fair amount of profit or even more. So yeah, that's basically what risk management is. So one of the measures you could take would be stop loss placement. This we will touch on it. I think it's on the next lesson. So yeah, the other issue would be deciding how much you are willing to lose on each trade, as mentioned above, right? You have to know how much you're willing to lose, and it doesn't really have to be in monetary basis. It has to be in percentage base, because let's say you're willing to lose 5% on your $1,000 account, which will be around $50 each, right? Let's say you lose the first trade, you'd be at around 950, right? Then when you enter the next trade and you are willing to lose $50, that's no longer 5%. That's going to be more than 5% because your balance is now less than $1,000. Let me just do the calculations right now because I didn't include this. So you would now be risking 5.26. So you see, you're increasing your loss. You're increasing your risk if you're focusing on losing a certain amount rather than a percentage based loss. So your losses should always be in percentage. basis and not in monetary basis. So what we're going to touch on now is the strike rate, which is also important in terms of risk management, right? And we'll show you why this is important, but it's also not important if you are not bothered by losses, and you shouldn't be bothered by losses. And this, the explanation of this and showing you some examples will give you an idea of why it's not important to focus on losses, you know. So what is a strike rate, or what is a strike rate? What is a strike rate? Strike rate mainly refers to strike rate mainly refers to your win rate per certain amount of trades based on your strategy, right? It refers to how many trades are you able to win in X amount of trades that you take. Let's say in 10 trades, how many trades are you able to win? So we convert that win rate into percentage, right? We'll touch on this and show you how your strike rate may not be that important if you just apply consistent risk management when your strike rate is low, right? You can have a low strike rate, meaning that you can win few trades but still be profitable. So, up to you. But you should also keep in mind that a high strike rate is also vital if you're looking to have massive gains, and this comes with understanding your strategy and also good risk management. You know, so that's that. Let me adjust this. Doesn't look that way too close. So, what is the preferred strike rate for clear profitability or significant profitability? Preferably, you would want to exercise your strategy and understand it fully to be able to obtain a 50% strike rate in any given market condition. So, you have to make sure that you backtest all the time. You have to understand your strategy. You have to understand your your application of risk. You have to what else? You have to understand when not to trade and when to trade. You know, so that's that. But this is not entirely important, right? This is not entirely important, but it should be regarded as the bare minimum for profitability, even though you can be profitable with the lower strike rate, right? Obtaining a 50% strike rate is not really important, but it should be regarded as a bare minimum in order for you to have like a significant profit, to see it clearly that okay fine, now I'm profitable. Okay, so you can still be profitable with the lower strike rate, but the profit would not be that significant. So let's move on to the next one. Once you understand risk properly, you will and what did I write here? I'll correct this later on if I made a mistake. So once you understand risk properly, you will know how much you are willing to lose before you enter a trade. You will consider a trade setup afterwards. So what this means is that once you understand how much you're willing to lose, a trade setup will come afterwards, right? You This one will come afterwards. You have to know how much you're willing to lose before you even enter a trade, so that you can prepare yourself. You already know that okay, fine, I'm willing to lose this much. I'm just gonna wait for a trade setup to prepare itself for me and not force it, you know. And then in that way, you'll then uh, be able to take advantage of the trade with your comfortable risk. And yeah, primarily the risk that I suggest, even though I didn't mention that here, I suggest risk that's between 0.5 and 2%, right? Depending on the kind of trader that you are. So This one right here, we're gonna touch on it when we move on to the uh the example the example part of the video, which is example 2. So yeah, hopefully this has been insightful and helpful. So I'll see you on part 2 of lesson 6, which is risk management. Peace.